Hi there everyone, this is the Nordisk Oppland 2 SI tent, and today I'm gonna put up the tent here in my forest garden and give you a tour around it, outside, inside, tell you a little about the specs and the features, and share with you some of my own experiences using this tent for almost 3 years now in all kind of weather conditions. So hang on and see you in a sec. Welcome back. As mentioned, this is the Nordisk Oppland 2 tent SI, and the SI is referring to the impregnation, the protection from the outer tent. It comes in a PU version as well, that's a bit cheaper. The SI version is impregnated with silicone, and as far as I know, it's for better protection from the rain and from the UV from the sun, and it will last longer. So of course, if you maintain the tent well, it will last longer. So this is for the SI. The 2, Oppland 2, is because it's a 2-person tent, and as you can see when we put it up, it's very spacious. There's plenty of room for 2 persons in that tent. I've used it a lot of times only for myself, so that's even more luxury. Anyways, the tent is from Nordisk, and Nordisk is originally a Danish company established back in 1901. So it's a very old company, and they are known for their very high quality tents. And I should mention that this video is not sponsored. I buy a lot of stuff, outdoor gear, for my own use, and I share my honest opinion and experiences with you guys. Okay, well, in this video I will put up the tent, and while I do that, I will also show you 3 important steps to follow to put up the tent very easy and very fast. If you follow these 3 steps, you will do yourself a great favor. So after I put up the tent, I will give you a tour outside the tent. It's very windy, so I apologize for the wind in the microphone, but I will give you a tour from the outside of the tent, show you some of the features there, and I will give you a tour inside of the tent, show you the inner tent and the cabin outside the inner tent. And as we go along, I will share some of my own experiences of using the tent in heavy rain, heavy snow, heavy wind, heavy everything. Warm weather, cold weather. So yeah, I've tried the tent in a lot of different weather conditions, so I will tell you a little about that as well. So let's get on with it. Let's put up the tent. And first, I should mention, I always use my tent, my Oppland tent, with the footprint from Oppland, and this is the Oppland 2 footprint. So it's actually made especially for this tent, so it fits the size exactly, which is very nice. And the advantage of using a footprint, I think, is first that you protect the bottom of the tent, of course, from the forest floor or wherever you put up your tent. Second, it will give you more protection from water from beneath. The tent itself has actually a water pressure. The inner tent floor has a water pressure of 10,000 millimeters, which is a lot, but this footprint will give you even more. The outer tent of the Oppland 2 tent is actually 3,000 millimeters protection from rain, and that doesn't sound like much, but I've never ever experienced any water inside the tent, even I've been camping out in very heavy rain. That's it for now. Let's put up the tent and have a look at it. put up the tent, you have 3 poles, 2 of the golden ones and 1 silver. And as I will show you when we get the tent out here, it's marked on the tent, so it's very easy to find out where to put which pole. So here we have all the pegs, plenty of them coming with the tent, as well as the poles and everything you need. You can buy extra at Nordisk if you need so. I've never had to use other than these pegs. I've bought some pegs for stormy weathers, stronger ones, but these are actually pretty good. They also have this strap at the end here that you can use when you pull up the peg. And this is actually like all the wires on the tent reflecting light when it's dark, so pretty cool pegs. So as you maybe can see, here we have the golden mark. So this is for one of the 2 golden poles. And next we have the silver mark. So that's for the silver pole. And last, the second golden pole. We have the mark here. So first thing is to fix the end of the poles on the one side of the tent. Actually just by putting it into these small holes here. And then the same thing at the other side. Don't worry about the poles breaking, they won't. Okay, so now I have fixed the one end of the tent just to secure it for the wind. Right now I've put in the 3 poles and fixed them in both sides of the tent with the small holes, and I will show you the trick how to raise this tent very fast and easy. So this is the point of fixing the one end, putting in the poles, and then I will just pull the other end of the tent, and as you will see, kind of magic, the tent is up. So that's how easy it is. Now we of course have to secure the rest of the wires and the corners of the tent with all the rest of the pegs, and that's it for now. Switch the camera angle right now so I can show you the tent instead of me. Hopefully you will appreciate that. But let's take a tour around the tent from the outside first. So as you see here, we have the entrance that we will enter just in a second or in a minute. At the end here we have I can say all the lines, securing lines around the tent is just like on the pegs, is reflecting light in the dark. So if you are outside around the tent in the dark and you're using a light, a pan lamp or a flashlight or something like that, all the wires will actually light up in the dark. That's pretty neat. Right here we have a ventilation opening with a mesh inside, difficult to see in the sun here. So of course, as you can see, it will use or need a lot of space. It's not that wide, but it's very long, as you can see. The exact length you can read about in the specs in the description, but you will need pretty much space in the length to put up the tent. But I've never had any issues with that, finding a spot in the forest or anywhere, because it's also that narrow, so most often it's pretty easy to find a spot. As you can see here, it's only the length that needs a lot of space. It's not that wide. This is the other end of the tent, and as well you have the vent right here, and you have the Nordisk logo with the polar bear. Also all the corners, all the places where we have to attach the pegs, we have one here. You're also able to tighten up all the straps. So that makes it even easier to put up the tent. So you just have to put down the pegs, and then afterwards you can adjust all the way around the tent. So that's for the outside. As mentioned, I've used this tent in a lot of different kind of weather and conditions. I've used it in very heavy rain. The water pressure from the specs on this one is 3000 millimeter from the outer tent, and 10,000 millimeter from the floor of the tent. Not the footprint, just the floor of the tent. The footprint, of course, gives you even more protection from water from beneath. So, but the 3000 millimeter. When I bought it, I thought 3000 millimeter isn't that much, but I've used it in very heavy rain a lot of times and never ever had any water inside. The only water actually I've had inside, which is water you can't avoid, is from condensation. So the door on the outer tent is there's no mesh on the outer door here. There is mesh from the inner tent, as you can see here. We will go in there in a second. But the neat thing about this door is that you actually can You can open it both ways. By both ways, I mean you can open it in this side or the other side, or actually you can detach the entire door, so you just have this opening. But right now I'll just use the zipper from the below and open the door. So now we have the vent, and what a great way to show you one of the other features here, because you can actually store this one in a nice little pocket at the side of the tent. So now the wind is not a problem, and you have this nice space inside of the tent. I use it for if it's raining, I can sit in here relaxing, looking at and hearing the rain. I'm using it for in the mornings, sitting here and making coffee or breakfast, etc. So I'm using it for my gear and my stuff also, of course. The floor that you see here is not the tent bottom. This is the footprint. So if you do not use a footprint, you won't have any floor in here. So that's another reason to use a footprint also. Of course there's a floor inside the inner tent, but not in this space here. So you have a lot of space here. I would say a couple of meters, 2 meters, and 1.5 wide, so it's okay space. You can sit up. The height is not, of course, to standing up, but you can sit up in here. You could be sitting 2 persons here. Plenty of space. I only use it for myself, so for 1 person it's a big tent, but I love the space of it, because I can have all my stuff, all my gear outside here or inside the inner tent. So it's a great tent for 2 persons. A lot of space out here, and this is the vent I showed you from the outside, and you can open it here. So it's completely open, or you can use the mesh. I guess you will always use the mesh, but so to keep out bugs. And the same thing at the other end of the tent. This is very nice. So now let's have a look at the sleeping area and the inner tent. As you can see, you have these small hooks here at the outer tent and the inner tent, and all you have to do is just to attach them to each other. This is like a rubber, so it's very easy to adjust. Yeah, and they are all the way around actually to keep the inner tent pretty tight, and the same at the other end of the inner tent. As mentioned, I very rarely detach the inner tent. Sometimes, of course, if you want to bring the tent on tour at the summertime and you don't want to use the inner tent, you will of course save a lot of weight. And sometimes, of course, you also maybe want to wash or clean the inner tent or hang it up for drying. In these situations, of course, you will detach the inner tent, but normally I pack it all together with the inner tent attached already from home. So when I get to the campsite, it will take me a few minutes to put up the tent, and that's it. So, okay, the inner tent actually has 2 doors, including a mesh. So when you enter the inner tent, you will open both the doors like this. Yeah, this is inside the inner tent, and you have the mesh here, and a zipper, so that you can actually open the vent at the outer tent. You have a hook up here for a lamp, for example. You have the pockets both sides, and at the other end you have 2 more pockets on the sides, and the one pocket is actually for the door to put inside, if you want the door just staying open. But where I am right now, there's a lot of mosquitoes, so I will most oftenly enter the cabin here very fast and then close the door and open the inner door. That way I have the mesh. Yeah, it's maybe a little difficult to see on the video, but there's a mesh here now, and then I can put this door inside the pocket. So when camping in the summer, I never use the inner door, only the mesh, and depending on the temperature, of course, I would close the outer door or not. But you also have a hook up here for another lamp or something like that. Yeah, that's about it for the inner tent. I would say that for one person, there's a lot of space in there. For 2 persons, there's also plenty of space for 2 mattresses and 2 people sleeping in there. Actually, pretty good space. And because you have the area outside the inner tent, you can use that for all your stuff and your gear, so you wouldn't actually have to keep it inside the inner tent. So it's actually a very spacious tent for 2 persons, I would say. Okay, now that was the tour outside the tent, inside the tent. You saw me put up the tent, and as mentioned, I've used this tent in a lot of different weather conditions: heavy rain, snow, heavy storm, wind, warm weather as well, like it is right now, and it has never failed me. I'm very happy about this tent, and again, I'm not sponsored. I only buy stuff for my own use, and I share my opinion, my honest opinion, with all you guys. Yeah. This is high quality, no question about it. This is high quality, this is robust, and this has a lot of features that actually are the reason that it can handle all these weather conditions. So, if you maintain the tent, keep it clean, keep it dry, etc., it will last for many years, and you will also maintain the SI protection. If you have any questions or comments, you are very welcome to drop me a comment, and I will try to answer all of you. Also, if you would consider to subscribe and like and share, I would really appreciate it, and it will make me very happy, as always. But that's it. Hopefully you found it useful, and hopefully I will see you in another video as well. And until then, just have a nice one out there in the nature. See you. Bye.